Welcome to the Structural Snack Down, the podcast where we build your knowledge of steel construction and break down the best snacks one bite and beam at a time. I'm your host, Zach Bauer, and each episode we'll be diving into the world of Rayco builders, exploring all the ins and outs of commercial and industrial construction, all the while taste testing and ranking some great snacks. On this episode, we have a special guest with us, City Councilman Rich Merkouris, here to tackle some of the biggest questions on Sioux Falls, infrastructure, and commercial development. Welcome, Rich. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Zach. I look forward to the conversation.
Yeah, well, I'm excited for you to be on the Snack Down, and we have 6 snacks here, and I know how much of a fan you are of pizza, specifically frozen pizza.
Yes.
Which we can talk about here in a little bit. But these are 6 different pizza-flavored snacks, and so you're a connoisseur of pizza, so we'll get your ranking at the end to see which one you think is the best and which one is the worst, and then we'll discuss some questions about Sioux Falls. So.
Sounds
you ready?
Good. Let's dig in.
Well, we have combos. You remember these as a kid?
Oh, yes.
These are, I didn't know they even made these still, but I'll open this up and we'll jump in here with this first little snack. Combo flavored pizza.
Might need a breath mint if I remember correctly after those.
Probably not a bad idea. We do have some candy in here. Pizza flavored candy. I'm sure you'll love those. So as we jump into this snack here, the first question I want to just kind of get every chance to kind of jump into this is maybe just share a little bit about who you are, what you do, and then maybe give us kind of one best kept secret of Sioux Falls.
Hey, great. I'm Rich Merkouris. I currently serve on the Sioux Falls City Council. I'm an at-large position, so elected by the community as a whole. I also work in a couple of nonprofits in the community, provide leadership to them. Empower Sioux Falls at the old South Dakota School for the Deaf campus and Compassion Childcare, and then pastor a small church alongside of that. So during the week, I'm focused on city council and some nonprofit work.
Yeah, busy guy. I know we've known each other for a number of years, and I know you've always been involved in the city and nonprofits and moving forward in ministry here. How long have you been in city council now?
This is my starting my 4th year.
4th year. Wow. Go by quick.
It goes by real fast.
What's one best kept secret of Sioux Falls in your mind? I know there's a lot of little ones here, but what's one of your favorite best kept secrets?
I think the best kept secret to me is that no matter your niche, you can find a little park somewhere and you can find a little restaurant that can kind of become your little place, your little spot. A lot of times we get Falls Park gets a lot of attention. Minerva's gets a lot of attention, those big restaurants. Yep. But in both the situations, we got some great niche parks around the community and also some great niche little places to eat. So tell people you can find something for you. I guarantee it. Yeah. And some nice space to get away to.
I know when I first moved here, I was visiting Sioux Falls, and we had a couple that we knew that lived here, and I was staying with them as I was kind of trying to find a place to rent here and a job. And their very first restaurant they took me to was Nikki's, which is this little Hispanic Mexican restaurant. It also has a grocery store, and it's probably one of the most hole-in-the-wall, tiny little restaurants. And I just loved that they took me to something that was like off the beaten path that only locals really know.
Yes.
What's your favorite? Or one that one recently?
It's hard. Tomaselli's.
Oh yeah.
Pizza. Big fan of Tomaselli's pizza. Also big fan of Jackie's.
Yes.
So kind of cover both ends of the spectrum.
Both good. Both very good. All right. Second question here we'll jump into, and these will take a little bit more. What'd you think of that first snack there?
Not bad. It's a little different having some pizza sauce mixed in with the combo.
I know, it's a little different.
All of a sudden, it's a little different flavor or substance coming through.
So, I don't know if you've heard of these.
I've not heard of the pretzels.
I don't know these either, but this is pizza flavored. These are like little tiny breadsticks.
All right.
I'm getting the idea that the pizza flavor is just very strong tomato flavor. So you're a frozen pizza connoisseur. I know that, right?
Oh, I love my frozen pizza. Pretty much at least 3 times a week.
Do you have a brand or a certain one that's your go-to?
My go-to at 9 o'clock at night is Totino's.
Okay.
That's kind of the standard.
Now, is that
grew up on that.
oven? Is it
Oven
pizza,
only. Oven
pizzazz.
only. No, oven only.
Okay.
Not debate. No option on that. And then I really appreciate Jack's.
Okay,
Jack's is solid as well. I've been trying some lots of matzah.
Oh, I've never heard of that
lately,
one.
kind of in the Hy-Vee area. But I pretty much live on Totino's and Jack's.
That's good. Pepperoni or cheese?
Totino's, actually, I go supreme.
Oh,
Add in a
little veggie.
A little veggie option. Otherwise, it's pretty much pepperoni and sausage.
Okay, good to know.
That's an interesting breadstick.
It is. It's interesting. Very strong tomato. Well, second question here. We'll jump into some of the Sioux Falls here. Obviously, Sioux Falls, those who are familiar with Sioux Falls and maybe live here, know how much growth Sioux Falls, even since I've lived here since 2012, that crazy amount of growth, that trajectory is just constantly growing, seeing this increase of growth. Why do you think that is? And then where do you see obstacles in this growth as we continue to grow and obstacles that maybe arise in that?
Yeah, historically, I think there's been various reasons for growth at different seasons.
Mm-hmm.
You look back, there's some different industries at different times that probably drove that growth. Citibank at one time.
Oh, yeah.
Morels at one time. I think right now what's driving the growth is really twofold. On one is there's been a season in our country of kind of what's driven growth in our state specifically.
For sure, yep.
Past that. The second thing in Sioux Falls specifically is the diversity of the economy right now. And so in Sioux Falls, you've got the banking industry, you've got strong healthcare industry, you've got agriculture still, and so you've got a variety of things and also some manufacturing in there as well. So there's a variety of opportunities there, and being the center of healthcare in a rural state, if any people are going to leave a rural area, they're probably going to come to where their healthcare is.
Yep, that makes sense.
Their healthcare is going to be in Sioux Falls, and so I think Sioux Falls has diversified its economic base a lot, and so I think in the future we're going to continue to see that growth.
Yeah. What obstacles do you see? I mean, obviously there's probably a plethora of obstacles, but maybe what are a couple that you see as we continue to grow?
I think that the main obstacle is if something happens in the economy nationwide. I think Sioux Falls is going to continue to grow. Something bad has to happen for us to stop growing because of where we're located in the state and the level of investment that's been made here for healthcare.
Yeah.
That's not going away.
Yeah.
And the need for healthcare is not going away. So if something in the economy shifted drastically, we saw a change in the economy overall in the country, I think that would start to impact us a little bit. But overall, I don't see the trajectory of growth changing. I do see it maybe slowing a little bit than where it was during the COVID years.
Okay.
During the COVID years, we had the extra piece of political reasons why people were moving here. I think that's starting to slow, but we'll still continue to see the economic reasons and healthcare reasons for people to move here.
Yep. So I live in Harrisburg, and obviously people who kind of, I was just telling somebody the other day, they asked me, like, what do you think about Harrisburg? And I said, Harrisburg is unique because anytime someone who lives in Harrisburg is asked, where do you live? They always say, I live in Sioux Falls. And then somebody will then go, well, where at in Sioux Falls? And then you say, well, actually, it's in Harrisburg. It's kind of like that detachment, as Sioux Falls grows, how does Sioux Falls navigate that continued growth with the boundaries of, Brandon and Harrisburg and T and maybe even Hartford is on kind of that side of the interstate there. How do you navigate that as we grow?
Yeah,
those boundaries.
The city staff has done a great job. There's a 100-year plan for the city of Sioux Falls. So, for example, with Harrisburg, T, and Brandon, we've got specific agreements in place already. So all of those communities know what line we're going to grow up to, and we know what line they're going to grow up to. So we can plan infrastructure, public works, all of that stuff. So we know those boundaries of where we're going. The big question facing all of our communities is we know where we're physically growing to. The question becomes, how do we regionalize some of the services? So that's undefined still.
Oh, yeah.
So, for example, police departments, fire departments, 911's had some regionalization, but there's more regionalization to be done. Jails, things like that. I think there's a lot more conversation to come on the regionalization of government services. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting to see, you get to the point where, I don't know if you call Harrisburg and T suburbs of Sioux Falls, bedroom communities, but just to see that growth, especially Harrisburg with, much of South Sioux Falls kind of a part of Harrisburg School District, just seeing that growth, and obviously I knew, the city has things planned ahead of time for this type of stuff. But that's interesting that you make that comment about that regional shared and growth, and that means.
Yeah, and one of the questions would be school districts.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I think in the city limits of Sioux Falls, there's 7 different school districts.
Yeah.
At some point, does the question get raised? How many different school districts should we have? It's a tough question because obviously smaller communities don't want to lose their school district.
Yeah.
And so there's conversations would be interesting to see where those go.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very interesting. Well, next question here, we're going to jump into snack 3. This is pizza candy.
Oh, that could be different than what we've experienced
could
so
be, hopefully, not terrible. But as we move into this next question here, what do you feel that Sioux Falls is doing to attract, industrial or manufacturing companies to relocate or to establish business in Sioux Falls?
I think we've got a great Sioux Falls Development Foundation. So the city itself doesn't necessarily have a economic office in it. We partner with the Sioux Falls Chamber, Sioux Falls Development Foundation. Sioux Falls Development Foundation has different development parks throughout the community where they've got pieces of land that they're going out across the country. Looks like you're having an interesting experience with that piece of candy.
Sorry as you're talking here, but that is very interesting.
So they're really going out and identifying, who fits in these pieces of land, what kind of opportunities can be offered to them regarding tax increment financing, what kind of jobs are they going to bring to the community. So that's one aspect. Another aspect that's taking place is really the workforce. Whenever a business is considering relocating to Sioux Falls or starting in Sioux Falls, the question is always, do you have the workforce for us to exist there?
Yeah.
So, what's happening with Southeast Tech? What's happening in other areas where we're building up the workers for that place is one of the key investments that we continue to wrestle with. So you're seeing things like SDSU, USD starting to have more of a presence in Sioux Falls.
Yep.
I think that's really intentional because that helps us bring other businesses here because they know that we're going to have the workforce for them moving forward. So I think the Development Foundation takes the lead, identifies, opportunities, who should come, but then school district, community as a whole has got to really raise up that workforce as a critical element.
And do you feel like Sioux Falls, that has been successful so far?
In different sectors, it's been successful. I think there's always a question on the manufacturing side and industrial side, maybe hasn't been as aggressive, depending upon the type of workforce that is available.
Okay.
But you go again, look at Foundation Park, you look at other places, we're seeing success in those areas.
Because Amazon just, I think, added on.
Yes.
FedEx has obviously added on more. You've really seen that growth out there of the facilities. Obviously, CJ Foods is a big one that's being established out there, and great one, isn't it?
That's a really interesting candy brand. That'd be interesting to see what their business sales are moving forward.
There is a.
I'm not sure I would take frozen pizza and bottle it up into something that you suck on for a little while.
They call it spicy sweet, seasoned to perfection.
Well, that's seasoned.
That's one way to say it. It is a very interesting flavor in that. So I think that's interesting. Yeah, the elements of obviously I think Sioux Falls, the location of it is obviously a great opportunity for manufacturing with interstates and I-29 moving across. There's a lot of, I think, opportunity for companies to move and establish in this area. But I think about the workforce and some of the other pieces that go into that. Makes sense.
Ongoing, an interesting conversation to me is, what can we do with Northwest Iowa? I recognize that Northwest Iowa is in a different state, but Northwest Iowa is a hotbed of manufacturing opportunity.
It is.
And so I think there's some opportunity there for us as well. What can we do to incentivize, recruit some of those businesses to say, hey, Sioux Falls might be the place for you, for your workforce type thing, but we can have a similar business climate of what you have in Northwest Iowa. So I think there's some potential there for growth as well. How can we help them do well? And then maybe a satellite location here, whatever, as they grow, maybe that benefits Sioux Falls Metro overall. But I don't think just because they're in a different state that we should ignore them. We should see them as partners and opportunities for growth, especially in that manufacturing area.
Yeah, that's a good point. Really good. Well, we're gonna get better
see
here.
if
I
we
think.
can, see if we can leave the disappointment for a different opportunity.
Yeah.
Here.
We have goldfish here. These got to be good, right?
It's got to be pretty safe.
I mean,
yeah.
I can't imagine goldfish flopping on this one, but
I think the kids have brought these home a couple of times.
have they? Oh, a little brighter. Some of that yellow 5 and red dye.
Right.
Those spicy?
Kind of getting back towards the
not
combo taste a little bit here.
Not bad. Definitely heavy goldfish flavor with a hint
Well,
of
I could eat.
pizza.
I could snack on these in the afternoon.
Not that bad. Next question here is, if a business owner or a company, corporation were to ask the city for a recommendation, what specific indicators of reliability beyond just, a project bid would you tell them to prioritize in recommending like a general contractor for them?
Great question. Price is not everything.
Nope. No, it is not.
We all know that, and we experience that on a daily basis.
Yes.
In our homes when we buy stuff, so forth. The number one thing that I go to outside of that, from experience on the city, experience with nonprofits, experience building church stuff, is communication.
Yeah.
I'm looking for number one thing. If I'm recommending somebody or telling you you're talking to general contractors, what questions they're asking is ask, what frequency do you communicate with the owner on? How do you communicate? Who communicates? And really, could you provide a reference for us that has had that experience?
Oh, yeah.
And ask that reference, how did they do it communicating when surprises come? Did they communicate the surprise right away, or did they kind of wait till they had some options, whatever? I'm looking for someone that communicates the surprise right away and says, hey, we ran into this today. We're going to work on some options for you, but wanted to let you know right away what we found. And within the next 3 days, we'll have some options for you to consider. That type of communication to me is really, really important. And without that communication, frustration can grow pretty quickly. So I'm going to look at communication really, really high. Second thing that I'm going to look at is the issue of subs. Are they doing just a blank sub where they put out the bid to all of their subs and they're bringing in different subs for every project? Or do they have some consistent subs that they're working with? Because that's where relationship and trust is. That's where communication is with those subs. Because then I can start to see that, hey, their subs are really in good communication with them on issues that they're finding. Personally, from the experience I've had in the government, nonprofit side, church side, is that those ones that have a good, consistent group of subs, I think is a stronger appeal to myself.
For sure.
I think it provides that communication and trust piece overall. So communication, kind of how they handle the subs, is 2 key items I'm going to look for outside of the budget.
Yeah, I agree. I think when you can fall into the subcategory and you're trying to squeeze a dollar out of things, you can have the tendency to find the cheapest possible sub out there, and the quality, communication, like you said, scheduling, time, efficiency of getting things done. Quality is obviously a big one. And then, again, the expectations. I think when you have consistent subs, or if you self-perform a lot of that stuff, the expectations, the quality, the safety, all that stuff is just more consistent because either you are in-house building that stuff, or you have subs that you have continually worked with and they know your standard, they know your expectation, they know the scheduling, they know all that kind of stuff. And that a lot of times, when you are pinching a penny and trying to maximize, you get subs and then timelines get screwed up, communication doesn't get communicated, expectations aren't there. And then that's when projects, unravel pretty quickly.
And the sub front, the time has always cost money.
Oh, yeah.
And the way that I look at the sub issue is, if I choose a general contractor that's working with some subs consistently on other jobs, that provides flexibility on timing. Because that general maybe has that sub working for them on 2 other projects, and things never go exactly on the timing.
Yeah, there's
piece.
always
But
open.
you can kind of say, hey, can you maybe adjust over here on this project? But if you're bringing a sub in for just one single project and it's got to be done on this day and things change a little bit, all of a sudden the timing sequence is out on everything. And then that can cost money in the end. So you maybe did it to pinch a penny on the front end. It might cost you on the long term. So that's an important factor to take into consideration.
Yeah, and then the customer in the end, they're going to feel the pinch of, the schedule issue, or this didn't get done right, or they didn't show up. And so now we're I mean, yeah, that can quickly unravel pretty quick. Well, that's good. That's good points there. Next question here, in our fifth, pizza flavored popcorn.
No, that's kind of mixing two of my regular go-to things, and usually I'm not a mixed guy, so this is going to be interesting. If I'm a big popcorn Boy Scout microwave popcorn, and this is going to be a different.
I can already smell how strong it is. Yeah, it's strong, potent there.
It's going to be a tomato-based popcorn. Or more of a cheese-based.
Very cheesy. Okay. With a very little pizza.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty good.
There's no marinara taste to it or anything.
No, that's not. I mean, it's a very cheesy, nacho cheesy popcorn. So what's a hobby? I know you're so busy. What's something that you enjoy to do, you enjoy doing on your off time?
We have children that are pretty active in the sense of like to do stuff. So go to bike rides with our kids, like to do lawn work at home, putts around and stuff like that. Son's now just started playing basketball, get to coach his basketball team.
Oh, nice.
My son and I like to do trading cards.
Cool.
With, basketball, football cards. Daughters like to go for walks, go to the park, go to a lot of parks.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So
trading cards, was that something that he was into, that you got into, or both of you?
I was into it a long time ago.
Okay, I was going to say, that was
3 years ago. We just got out my old box from when I was a little kid. Went through those, and then he wanted to get into it. So I hadn't been in it probably for at least 25, 30 years.
I've heard it's pretty wild now.
It's a whole different, it's not even in the same realm of what it was before.
I've heard.
I'm learning on the go here, but he really enjoys basketball and football, so we dig into that.
I met a guy that does these, there's some app or online thing, and they'll sell these rare cards. And I think he said he ended up getting one for like $5,000, and I was $5,000 for a card?
It's crazy. I mean, they're graded now.
Yeah,
so you send them in to get graded and come back.
Do you buy them online then? Do you buy them at like expos and go to the shows, or do you buy them just locally?
Usually go to a show once every 2 months, maybe here in town. There's usually one Saturday a month. There's a show somewhere in Sioux Falls. So usually go to that once every.
What's his
month
favorite card?
Oh, he's a big Green Bay Packer fan.
That's why I like him.
We got some old Devontae Adams items, and got some things with all of the former quarterbacks of Green Bay.
Oh, cool.
And so things like that.
Cool. Well, next question here is, and it'd be interesting to hear your perspective on this. I'm not sure if this falls into the city council area, probably not. But as like other bigger cities, or other cities like Sioux Falls, you get into, Sioux City, you get into, obviously Omaha is bigger, but even Rapid City, Cheyenne, Denver, they require these general contractors to be licensed. Do you think, Sioux Falls doesn't currently require that? Do you think that should be something like that, or thoughts on why Sioux Falls doesn't go that route?
That's a great question. And I think one that probably a lot of people don't even know.
Yeah, definitely. I had a meeting today that someone was like, "Oh, they don't."
Yeah, exactly. Because you go to your hairstylist, and they got a license. For cutting your hair.
Yeah.
So somebody's could be building this office building that we're sitting in right now, and weren't licensed. So saying that, some people are like, "Well, let's get them licensed." So I could understand that perspective.
Yeah.
At the same time, and one of the reasons I think is we have building permits. So no commercial building gets built in Sioux Falls without a thorough permit review process. So in one sense, you could make the argument saying, hey, we're reviewing the stuff that they're using to build it. We're reviewing how they're building it. We're also reviewing it while they're building it. Mm-hmm. So we're going out at different points, the framing point, the electrical point, the plumbing point, so all of that. So I look at it as, I think we're doing a really good job of ensuring safety in the community, ensuring quality in the community. I wouldn't be opposed to someone bringing forward that conversation, but I would ask the question, why?
Yep.
What have you seen that's saying like, wow, we've had some bad actors in the community that are coming in and low bidding our homegrown contractors, and these guys or gals are just, they're not doing good work. Mm-hmm. I think that would raise some questions. I have not heard that yet in what we've seen in our business community in Sioux Falls. So I think we got a great permitting process. We need to make some tweaks in the permitting process. that I think we should put our energy there.
Yeah.
I think if you went out and talked to the contracting community, I could be wrong on this, but the feedback I get is that they're more concerned about certainty of timing on permitting and review of plans than they are about themselves being licensed. And I think our permitting process is sometimes costing contractors money and is causing confusion as well. So I think if we can provide that consistency of permitting and going out and doing those reviews is the first step we should take, that we could say to the community, we've got quality and safety in place.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, and obviously as the city grows and expands, I'm sure that, you know, that level of focus and intention and following up is harder and harder to maintain.
It's also a challenge that a lot of people don't see is it can be a hard thing to staff for, because in 1 year you can have X number of building plans submitted. You don't know how many are going to get submitted because it depends on the economy, interest rates, et cetera. The next year, that can change.
Yeah.
Well, now you've got some employees. What do you do? So maybe you cut back on employees, but then the next year, you need them back. And so that's happened at different times where you've gone through a season like, we could really use 2 more employees right now.
Yeah.
It's taken 13 weeks to do a plan review.
Yeah.
And if you talk to a contractor, 13 weeks on a plan review, that's not helpful.
Yeah.
And that can change the seasons that you're doing construction in, when you're buying stuff, all of that. So me personally, I want to put more emphasis and focus on, let's tighten up that plan review. Let's make sure the people that are going out to the sites and as they're building, we're being consistent in the inspections. I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
One inspector goes out, sees this, another inspector comes out, sees something different. I think bringing that consistency, again, is fair to the contractors to ensure that quality, cost, all of that type of stuff. So at the moment, like for me personally, I'm not putting a big emphasis on the licensing aspect.
But no, that's good. Really good. That's good perspective there. You know, I agree. I think that's a good angle at it, is because obviously you got to work together on a project and maintaining timelines. Obviously you want to maintain safety and quality, and all those play together, and you know, balancing those two is a challenge for sure. And obviously everyone, you know, contractors, you know, we want to get stuff done quick as possible and move forward as quick as possible to keep the project moving.
And customers want it done as quick as possible. So they're knocking on the door as well.
But having the quality and making sure that the inspection is done correctly and hitting what is needed to be safe. So great point. Well, we're up to the last Chex Mex here. And I'd love to end here with this snack here, but also, what is one of the most proud accomplishments that you've been a part of, or maybe you helped push across the line as a city councilor?
It's a great question. You know, I think there's 2 things come to mind. One is more generic in general. Hopefully the community has seen that I've been one that has compromised really well and has constantly been willing to listen to any idea and then try to shape and form it, and been open to shaping and form it. So I've tried to be a really good compromiser, working together with different ideas and not closed off to anything, but make them more common sense, more workable for more of the community. So that's kind of my overall general piece.
It's good.
Specifically, I think really boring for most people, but really important in my opinion. I was the sponsor of something that changed how contracts were approved in our community. And so I sponsored legislation that required any contract over $100,000 was published publicly when the agenda of the meeting is published. And the reason that I look at this is I think the public should be able to view anything in advance of when we're voting on it. Kind of like the old thing you've heard sometimes with Congress, like, do you know what's in it before you vote on it?
Yeah.
And I think the community should have an opportunity to review it before we vote on it. Previously, you could ask for a copy of the contract, but as a community member, that's kind of clunky. You'd have to find a counselor. The counselor would have to request a copy of it. They get it to you, et cetera. And then people are asking questions like, oh, why do they want to see a copy of it? Where I think it should just be publicly available to go review those contracts. You go out in the line right now today, we have a meeting tonight. All of the contracts that we're voting on tonight are available to be seen publicly. I'm really proud of that. I think transparency is so important because transparency builds trust. And trust is the currency for doing good work as a community. I think what we're seeing across the country right now is a void of trust in government. And anytime there's a void of trust, everything comes to a halt. And people forget government exists for the common good to help us build strong communities, strong states. So we can build more trust. I think we can build up that community even more.
Yeah.
So I hope to work on more transparency issues. We got a long ways to go, but we're at least taking some steps.
No, that's awesome. That's really cool. No, I appreciate that. Those are both really good. Well, why don't you try this last one?
I gotta try this Chex Mix here.
And then I want to get your ranking of, out of all these, your favorite. I think we know what our least favorite is. The candy.
Yeah, candy's not even going to make the list.
No, that's...
If I had to pick just a candy, an afternoon snack, I'm probably going to go with the goldfish.
Goldfish, huh? Okay.
After the goldfish, I'm probably going the popcorn. After the popcorn, I'm probably going the sticks.
The sticks, yeah, they weren't too bad actually.
And then I'm going to go the Chex Mix. And then the combos was that odd mixture of stuff. It wasn't that it was bad. It was very weird to have together mix that way.
Yeah.
So that's going to come in 5, and that candy's pretty bad. That's not going to make the list anywhere.
That'd be pretty close. I think the goldfish and the Chex Mix are probably my top 2.
Okay.
And then popcorn didn't really taste like pizza, although it's good. Probably these Pretz combos, then candy right in that end.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you coming on, and again, appreciate all that you do for the city council and for the city of Sioux Falls. I know it's probably, or I know for a fact, it's not a job that you probably hear a whole lot of appreciation, and the work and the time and the meetings that you put in to better serve our community is appreciated, and all that you do in that arena as well as the nonprofit world. So thank you very much for putting all your effort into that.
Well, thank you for the investment your business is making, and keep on building stuff.
We will. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.